What up, yo? What's the deal? Welcome back or welcome for the first time to No Moral Victories, man. Subscribe, man. Like, comment, tell me how you feel, man. Today we are reacting to what Army paratroopers go through at airborne school. So the dudes that are jumping out of planes and all that, we gonna see what they go through, man. Nigga ran to a truck.
When this airborne student collided with a Humvee parked in the drop zone, our camera crew feared she was seriously injured, if not worse.
Damn, that looks ugly, my boy.
Me?
Yeah.
Filming?
You can't. No.
An instructor ordered us to stop recording
I
while
mean,
the
it's
medics
serious.
tended to her.
Must be
Minutes
serious.
later, she was back on her feet and walking without assistance.
Damn.
When we caught up to her, she was all smiles, getting ready
Shout
for her
out
next
to her,
job.
man. Shout out
The
to
medic
her.
checked me out. I didn't pull anything. I didn't tear anything. I didn't break anything. I was very grateful and also very conscious of the fact that I didn't hear a pop.
That may be due to the fact that Davis listened to this instructor's advice right before she crashed.
Keep your feet together.
Keeping the feet and knees together is an essential component of executing a safe landing after a jump.
Feet knees together. Feet knees together. Feet knees together. Feet knees together.
Feet knees together.
Keep your feet and knees together.
Feet knees together.
Feet knees together.
It's a phrase heard ad nauseum at airborne school. A 3-week course where the Army trains students to become paratroopers.
3 weeks, that's it.
Throwing yourself out of an aircraft is not a natural thing, especially at an altitude of 1,250 feet. It is a feeling like nothing you have ever felt before.
Insider spent 5
Damn,
days
look
at
at that.
airborne school, where we observed different classes in the 3 phases of training.
Ground week is pretty much an introduction. When they land on the ground, what procedures they need to take, and it's just building that confidence in their equipment. Tower week is the second week, overcoming your fears of jumping. Jump week is the culminating event. You're jumping out of the aircraft.
Sheesh.
You
3
successfully
week
make
process.
5 jumps and you graduate airborne school. Overall objective is
Look
to
at them.
provide a
Look at 'em.
capability to put a battalion-sized
Damn.
plus element in a location within 72 hours.
On day 1, students have to pass 2 physical
Day
assessments.
one.
First group, get ready.
First,
Oh,
the flex arm hang,
uncross your feet.
where students must perform a pull-up and remain in place for 10 seconds.
That's it.
This exercise requires the same technique and amount of upper body
That
strength
good
to
core.
perform what's known as a slip.
That good
Where a
core.
paratrooper grabs handles on the harness called risers and pulls down to adjust the parachute's direction.
To really pull good slip, you're pulling, I think, 60% of your body weight. If you cannot hook up to the incline cable, you are a reach assessment failure. Do you understand?
The second physical test assesses a student's ability to reach the cable they must connect to before jumping.
Extend your arms straight up. Spread your fingers.
Being a smaller human, I was definitely nervous about that. But when I got there, I stretched my arm out as high as I could and realized, all right, I qualify. And that was a good feeling because I was a little bit nervous.
While most pass
Qualified.
with ease. For some students, a failed reach assessment brings an end to their training before it officially begins.
Man, duh.
About 15,000
somewhere else,
students
man.
enroll in airborne school.
Well, you know you got to be at least 5'2", it looks like. Maybe 5'5". That girl looked like she was pretty
Cheer.
short.
And roughly
force.
13,000 graduate.
Wait, hold on.
About 15,000 students enroll in airborne school each year, and roughly 13,000 graduate.
Man,
About
too bad.
10% of students are female.
I'm 17, and so I joined right out of high school. My friends now, they're just graduating. They're just going to college. That's the new things that they're starting. And the things I wanted to start right out of high school is, saving people's lives and jumping out of planes.
The Army
That's what she
wants still
wanted to
more
do, man,
volunteers
I
from its
guess.
ranks for parachute duty.
Since 1940, Paratroopers have been trained at the Fort Benning Army installation, which straddles the Alabama-Georgia border about 100 miles southwest of Atlanta.
Stand by for the jump light. That's it. 4 more trips like this one, and the fledgling paratrooper gets his wings. His pay will be $50 a month, more than regular soldiers of his rank.
We used to do that shit for $50
Today,
a month.
paratroopers still get extra pay. Students who graduate from airborne school get $150 per month added to their paycheck. Classified as hazardous duty incentive pay.
Shout outs to y'all, man. To the paratroopers, man. Shout outs to y'all.
Students use mock parachutes to learn how to safely don and rig them before a jump,
Everyone, walk all the way to the edge.
marking the beginning of ground week.
Slap, step, kick, count.
The ground week phase gives you confidence in your competency.
If you're on the left door, your static line is in the left hand.
You don't have to be the strongest or the smartest.
Recover.
If you can remember to do very specific things at very specific times, you'll be fine.
These are your
Very specific things at very specific times. Hey, man, that detail is important, man. That detail is very important. Shout outs to the paratroopers.
You have your saddle. We teach them how to properly put on what's called a harness. Teach them how to rig it, the different components of the harness. Everyone, once you're finished and you're ready for inspection, come to me.
After donning and rigging the harness, an instructor inspects the student's work.
Hold, squat, turn, bend,
It's wild right there.
recover, recover, recover.
Sergeant, what's up with the little glove tap?
So that's basically called the seal of approval.
Boy, getting questioned about what he be doing, man. Hold on, Sergeant.
Recover, recover, recover.
Sergeant, what's up with the little glove tap?
So that's basically called the seal of approval. Recover. Basically, they have what's called 5 points of
Don't do it
contact:
to
the balls
me.
of the feet, the calf, the thigh, the buttocks, and the pull-up muscle. Recover. The 4th point of contact is the easier accessible part of the body that doesn't have anything to interfere as far as the harness itself. Recover. That 4th point of contact is a seal of approval that your equipment is good. I've checked it, and you're good to go.
I don't like that smile. Don't do that.
Hit, count. Then they'll move to what's called the mock doors. So the mock doors is where they'll learn how to properly do individual exits from the aircraft. Kick, count, which is basically keeping those elbows tight,
Come on,
feet knees
man.
together, knees
Feet
aircraft.
and knees together, man. What is
which
he
is basically
doing?
keeping those elbows tight, feet
Together.
knees together, knees slightly bent, and so on and
Come
so forth.
on, man.
The mock door prepares students for what it's like to jump,
Thank you.
but not to land. Paratroopers land at speeds of about 13 miles per hour with a force comparable to jumping from a 9 to 12-foot wall, which is why they practice the
Watch the
parachute
knees.
landing fall, or PLF, from a height of roughly 3 feet to develop a safe technique for landing.
Essentially, it is a choreographed movement of them creating a banana shape or a rocking chair shape. They do a small bunny hop off the wall. They hit the ground. They tuck their chin down in their chest, put their elbows high in front of their face. I like to concentrate on keeping their feet together so that there's more surface area for the impact of jumping out of the aircraft to absorb into, so that they can roll, getting them to bleed off the momentum so that they do not
Drop
get
and
injured.
roll.
It hurt. It was annoying falling over and over and over until you get it right. And even then, you have to fall more and more. This is my life that's on the line, so I appreciate that stuff.
After PLFs, they move to the lateral drift apparatus, a zip line they slide across until they're ordered to let go and land.
It simulates the lateral drift that will happen
That's
in the
solid.
air
That's
due to
solid
wind.
right
So then
here.
they
That
have
really-
more momentum
that really
to actually
gonna get you
complete
right,
the parachute
man.
landing fall and kick it up and over.
They really gonna get you right.
Students use the suspended harness to practice pulling a slip.
So you would pull a slip in the direction that you want to go. So if you want to go to your front to your left, you're going to pull a front left slip as it would be all the way around all 4 risers.
That's
The
something I did not
T-11
know about.
parachute is not technically
You wanna go left,
steerable,
pull
but
the left.
executing a
Once you wanna go right,
slip
put it right
is the
there.
only option for
I thought you were
avoiding a
just pulling
collision.
them and you were just trying to, you know.
Whether it's avoiding
Shoot that
trees,
thing
other
up.
jumpers, they do work, and that's why we teach them here.
Doing it constantly, knowing which way to flip. So in the air, I'm confident which direction I'm going to go.
Everything taught during ground week is taken to a new height the following week.
Tower week, you're 34 feet off the ground.
Taken to a
Let's see
new
what happened.
height the following week.
Tower week, you're 34 feet off the
Week
ground.
2.
What are you going to do? You know, nobody knows how they're going to react when they're staring that door in the face. And I think everyone had that gut check.
All that practice shit is cool until you actually in them elements, man. It's different. It's all
When
different.
they were up there. But once you send it, once you're jumping off, you're good.
The height of the tower is typically where a lot of people are going to show the panic and the fear of height, and the tower is used to help them
I'm afraid
control
of heights
that
for
fear.
sure like that, but if I got a secured
When you
bungee,
get up in that tower,
I might be
everybody's
solid.
excited. You
I'm
walking
not jumping
upstairs
from
just like
the
anybody else.
sky
But
like
then
these people, but I do
now
something like
reality
this.
sets in when I'm standing up here 34 foot in the air, and
34
now
feet
you
in the
asking me
air.
to jump out.
You're like, oh, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. They're going to kick out, creating the explosive power required for them to exit the aircraft, getting a good up 6, out 36-inch exit far away from the aircraft. As soon as their foot leaves the platform, they begin to count to 6,000. At the end of your 6,000 count, your main canopy will have fully deployed and has begun its inflation process and begun its descent to the ground. You did everything right.
Students are observed and evaluated by instructors who critique them
man,
until
shout
they have
outs to 'em,
developed an
man.
exit worthy of a live
Get
jump.
right.
I actually jumped the mock tower 22 times.
Damn.
Just because I just had to perfect it and get it right.
Is that my paratroopers, man? Leave a comment. Is that a lot or is that a little, man? She fresh out of high school, 17-year-old female. Let me know.
You got to kick out
Get
a
your
certain
information
amount to
up.
get far enough away. And that was probably the thing I struggled with the most.
What does he struggle with?
Kick out a certain amount to get far enough away. And that was probably the thing I struggled with the
Kick out a
most.
certain amount.
The final exercise during Tower Week is the improved swing landing trainer, an opportunity to practice a parachute landing fall in a more realistic way.
It simulates the oscillation and downward movement that you would experience on a normal parachute jump. They will swing until they get into a good parachute landing fall position. In true parachute landing fall, you are not looking at the ground, so you don't know when you're going to hit. We don't tell them, I'm dropping you now. We just say, hold what you got, prepare to land. That way they know the ground will be coming soon, they just won't know when.
The instructor pulls a cable that causes the student to fall.
This is also the most dangerous course when it comes to the actual training. We've seen broken bones, we've seen concussions result from this training, more so than any other training.
It's that,
Dangerous
it's that
course
surprise
when it comes
element,
to
man.
the actual
It's
training.
that
We've
surprise
seen
element.
broken bones, we've seen concussions result from this training, more
It's that
so than any other
surprise.
training.
Training culminates with Jump Week,
Week
where
3,
students apply
jump
everything
week.
they've learned in 5 different jumps from a live
5
aircraft flying
different jumps. Dang, I thought it
1,250
was
feet off the
one.
ground.
5 different
Jump Week
jumps.
begins with a jog to the airfield.
Running down here from the barracks, that's a
What?
very
This the thing, man. I'm finna conclude my jump week, my final thing, man. Look, I gotta run over there.
250 feet off the ground.
Come on, man.
Jump
I'm
Week
already
begins
nervous.
with
Now
a
I gotta
jog to
run.
the airfield.
running down here from
Suited
the
and
barracks.
booted.
That's a very slow pace. I found out the purpose of that was to check to see if anyone had any injuries. And then it's a waiting game until you finally get to jump.
Why you just don't?
Students pick
Why you just don't ask if people are hurt? They're gonna say they're not hurt or something, huh? I feel that. I guess.
And then it's a
There's
waiting
ways
game
to do
until
it
you
instead of
finally
running,
get to
though.
jump.
Students pick up their main and reserve parachutes, which have been meticulously packed and inspected by riggers.
By riggers.
The team uses a 13-step
Damn, she looks solid. What up with it?
process
What
to
up
pack
with it?
about 75,000 parachutes a year for airborne students. If the riggers discover any deficiencies in a parachute, it is removed from circulation.
What was the deficiency with that guy?
A hole in the apex.
Hole in the apex?
Yeah.
There you go. Hey, that boy just saved a life right there, man. Shout outs to you. Shout outs to you. Just saved a life
Students
right
head
there.
to the harness shed, where instructors inspect their parachutes.
So they go through five rounds of inspections by the time they exit the aircraft, just to verify, re-verify, triple verify, make sure that everything is in order.
Thank you. Safety
Everything from
first,
checking the
man.
helmet and the actual T11 harness and the parachute for any deficiencies, any cuts, frays, any twists, anything that could injure the jumper or cause malfunction.
Starting to kick in. They jumping out of a real airplane.
After the inspections, students wait and wait and wait. Their jumps often delayed for hours by weather and air traffic control.
I will say, the harness shed is not fun. You can't talk.
Oh, okay.
You can't go to the bathroom. You just have to sit there in our nice, comfy harnesses until you get to jump.
Let's
Finally,
get it.
The students get the signal that it's time to board the C-130
go
Hercules
time.
that will fly them to the drop zone.
Say hi to your mom.
Say hi to your mom.
The C-130 flies toward Fryer Drop Zone on the Alabama side of the Chattahoochee River.
Georgia to Bama.
When you're sitting there waiting, it's like it's not real yet. When they open the doors, it's like, oh, you know, if your heart's not already beating, that's when it starts, because you're just about to go.
Before the students jump, two instructors go to assess wind conditions.
So they'll jump out, not pull a slip, see where the wind's taking them, and then we'll send that wind data up to the aircraft.
On the ground, a smoke bomb ignited in a barrel provides an additional sense of wind direction and speed.
That's hard right there,
The
man.
students
Shout outs
hook
to
their
y'all,
static lines
paratroopers,
to the
man.
anchor line cable. This connection will open the chute upon jumping.
It's one of those things that you don't know that much about it until you do it. And it's not as scary as people think it is.
This ain't practice no more, man. Let's go. Keep them knees and feet together.
5,000, 6,000.
We all have fears. A
After
lot
you
of
count
folks
that
are scared of heights.
6,000, you pull that
You hear the
parachute.
stories, possible fatalities, and you allow that to get in your head. But once you get here to the school, you'll see that it's nothing like you ever thought it would be. That 18 to 20 something seconds you have falling out of the sky, you're in your happy place.
That's it. That's all it is. It's 20.
The
Damn.
most surprising
I thought they
thing
was in
that
the
I
air longer than
experienced when I
that.
exited the aircraft was the calm. It's like slipping into the void, and there's absolute silence. And it's such a cool feeling.
But accidents can occur.
I knew I was coming for the Humvee. I tried to calm down as much as I could, keep my slip,
hell
cover my
no.
face, and just wait for what happened next.
At first, Lieutenant Davis landed just a few inches to the left. Her face and head could have collided with a metal handle on the side of the Humvee.
Mentally, I was back in my plebe combative class at West Point. There's a point in the class where you are going to get hit in the face, and you have to prepare for it. And I thought, I'm going to get hit, and I have to prepare.
Man, I would have.
When you jump, you can't have a clear drop zone. We have to have vehicles out there for emergency purposes, and the best you can do is pull a one retro slip opposite the direction of the hazard, feet knees together, prepare to land.
Our next jump was the night.
Hey, I'm like, that is nothing, bro. If she would have landed half a step over, it's over for her, bro.
So you can imagine a somewhat traumatizing experience occurring. And then I was really, really trying to just remind myself that I'm good at this and just have faith in the
Have
equipment.
that confidence, baby.
It went flawlessly. Flawlessly. It was great.
Flawless landings are rare during the final jump, when students jump with about 35 pounds of combat gear added to their load.
It was really nice to get it over with on a combat jump, which that isn't fun because you're carrying all the equipment. But once you get out of that aircraft and you realize that being a smaller person kind of aids in bringing you down to the ground a little bit slower, it all pays off.
Shout out
All right,
to y'all.
coming for a nice target landing.
friends and family gather to see the newest class of airborne qualified soldiers graduate
Sheesh,
after
that's hard.
3
Whole
weeks of
ceremony.
training.
Shout out to the
What you
graduates,
see
man.
with a student that comes here, they don't know what to expect. They chose to do something that probably over 1/3 of the Army won't do. It's something to have this wing on your chest. You have proven that, hey, you jumped out of a moving aircraft. So they confidence just get greater and greater at each phase of the course.
I was afraid of heights, but managed to step up to the plate, jump out the plane, and now I can say that I'm airborne qualified.
Get that extra
I've
150 a
definitely
month,
grown
man.
in
Don't leave no money
confidence
on
in
the table.
myself.
It don't
I'm a
matter if you
signal
in the army or
officer,
not.
so I work on computers, and it's very different having a trust that a modem will function versus.
She said she work on computers, but she still did the
I've
paratrooper,
definitely
man.
grown in confidence in myself. I'm a signal officer, so I work on computers, and it's very different having a trust that a modem will function versus a parachute opening.
She probably would never have to jump out of a plane
I'm the last military member in my
again.
immediate family to become airborne qualified. So, as my mom would say,
Get that
I'm no
extra
longer a dirty,
150
nasty leg.
a month.
So that's fun.
What is the leg thing? So a leg is someone who don't have airborne wings. You can have everything. You ain't got airborne wings, you're a leg. So that's what we call you, a leg. 376 airborne students that just graduated, no longer legs.
Damn. Yes, sir. Shout outs to y'all, man. I rock with that, man. The paratroopers, that looks pretty solid. I never jump out no plane like that, but I might have to face my fear one day of the heights, you know? Hey, if y'all, let me know if y'all jumped out of a plane before. Damn, what's that shit called? Bungee. Nah, I don't know what it's called, but let me know if y'all jumped out of a plane before. I could never do it, but shout out to y'all. Shout out to the paratroopers, man, holding it down in the Army, man. Getting an extra 150 a month, man. Don't leave no money on the table. Shout out to y'all. Subscribe if you haven't done it. Like, comment, tell me how you feel if you ain't done it. Let's get it, man.